Guidance. Well, I just want you to know that I am thoroughly enjoying this time that we have, especially in the evening. After I've done everything, I'm winding down and I begin to talk to the Lord. And after I talk to him, he just gives me information to give y'all. So this is what I want to say to you tonight. I'm through acting up and being so silly. So as you can tell that I'm really silly. So I just want you to know that. And as you know, when it gets close to nighttime, I get real silly. But I bought my handy-dandy notebook, okay? God wanted me to reach out to somebody to let you know that you are getting what you want. Do you hear me? I'm talking to you. Okay, so let me say it again. God wanted me to reach out to somebody to tell you that you are getting what you want. But check this out, because he wants you to know that the cycle of pain and disappointment in your life is ending for you. It is over. The pain and disappointment that you are so conditioned to tolerate in your life is over. And he wants you to know that a new cycle is beginning for you. And you are a legend. Do you understand what I'm saying? And the reason why you are a legend is because you are building a legacy that is anchored in the love of God. Your children will not have to suffer, is what he said, or be ruled by fear or reckless pain, because you have broken, and I mean shattered, demolished, destroyed a generational curse. Won't he do it? Come on, somebody. I want you to know that. You're going to get what you want. You are a legend, building a legacy anchored in the love of God. Can you just imagine how it would have been growing up as a child, not having to experience certain things because those before you did the work? So you're walking into a situation in the earth where it has been people, legends before you that has totally destroyed the hand of the enemy when it comes to your bloodline. See, it seems like right now that what you're going through is so detrimental, it's so hard, it's so challenging. It doesn't seem like it's never going to end. Thus said the Lord, the cycle has ended. That pain, that destruction, that brokenness, that stress, that anxiety, all of the things to keep you in bondage. I heard the Lord say, because of your persistence and because of your prayer and your spiritual practices, baby, that curse has been broken. It has been lifted, and you are walking into a new cycle anchored in love. See, I'm going to tell y'all something. God speaks to me, and it's a lot of things that God has revealed to me that I don't even share on this platform that has happened. It has literally happened today to the T. And I want you to know that I don't know who you are and I don't know who I'm talking to. But it's someone here that has really been doubting, really been wrestling, really been wondering why this is happening to me. You really don't know what is going on in your life, but it's because you're getting at the edge. You're at the edge. You're breaking a spiritual barrier in your life, and God has begun a new cycle for you. Now, in order for you to walk boldly into the new cycle, you have to understand that you keep it going, the old cycle, or you release that oldness, okay, to make room for the blessing, to make room for it. See, when the Israelites were under such a heavy, oppressive leadership, or just working for those Egyptians, it was hard on them. It caused them to cry out to God. And so therefore they entered into this wilderness experience. They entered into the wilderness under the leadership of Moses because they believed what he said sometimes. See, what happens is we hear a word from the Lord when we're heavily afflicted, and we believe it at first, but because it seems like it's not happening fast enough, then we begin to wallow in it. We begin to play it out. We begin to just think about negative thoughts. We begin to play into the hand of the enemy. We begin to use our mouth, which is an apparatus designed to create for you. We begin to speak death and dark things in our experience, and we wonder why it continues to show up, just like the children of Israel did when it wasn't coming fast enough, when they wasn't getting what they needed. God has performed so many miracles for them. God has performed so many miracles for you. But sometimes when you're heavily oppressed or when you're so stressed, the enemy knows exactly what he's doing, and he does those things to keep you in position where you are. But I heard the Lord say that cycle is that's ended. That whole generational, that cycle of pain and disappointment is over. You've entered into a new cycle. See, I want you to understand something. When I read about the children of Israel and Moses, it was just profound to me. It was action-packed, and it was dripped in God. There were so many things, so many miracles that God performed for the children of Israel, so that they would have just a mustard seed of faith to know that he could take them into that promise. See, I want you to understand that there's no way that you can enter into new things unless you have that wilderness experience. You are developed, and the promise is in the wilderness. The promise is in the wilderness. Because in order for you to possess the promise, you have to possess the promise internally first and believe it, and by faith, execute your faith into the elements around you, and then God will begin to move, and he will begin to guide you and lead you on the direct path that you need to be in. But God wanted me to remind you tonight that the promise is already inside of you, but you don't activate that promise unless you have that wilderness experience. Because what you're doing is you're breaking generational curses that have been in place and implemented for thousands of years. We're the first generation to really do it. We're the first generation to really sit down and develop a relationship with our Heavenly Father, something that hadn't been done for a very long time, because the devil used different religious practices to romanticize people of God, to get them in a comatose state so that they can never awaken to the full value of the intimate relationship between the Creator and ourselves. And because we're the generation that came outside of the confines of just man-made things, and we began to lean in the spirit of God-made things, then God is like, I got you in the position. And so some of us are experiencing wilderness right now. We're kind of topsy-turvy. We really don't understand what God is doing, but you have to understand that the promise is already in you, and it's being activated by the things that you're currently going through. So you think that you're going through all of these trials, these tribulations, this heartbreak, this time where you don't understand how you're going to pay your bills, times where you have children that may have special needs and you're wondering how you're going to make it. God is saying to me right now that he wants you to really build up your faith, to understand that your answer is locked up inside of your spirit. It is activated through your wilderness experience, because that's how you build your faith. See, faith is a substance that you push out here, and angels will grab your faith and begin to clothe it in physical matter. You have to understand how magnificent you are. You are made in the image of God. It's nothing else out here that's made like you. And you have the authority in this earth as a child of his to call things into formation the way that you feel them and the way that you believe them. And because you have been so stubborn enough to stand on the promises of God when everything in your life was falling apart, baby, you are a legend that's building a legacy that's anchored in God. You are the example of someone who has mastered the wilderness. And because you're going through it, and you're staying steadfast and immovable, unmovable. I can't talk tonight. In the things of God, then I want you to know you're going to get exactly what you want. There's no doubt about it, baby. You're going to get exactly what you want. You're going to manifest exactly what you want. You're going to have exactly what you need. You're being developed to be something amazing in this time. You are changing the way that we live our life. I don't just say that because it's cute. I don't say that because it's something to fill up a space in my mind. I'm saying it because that's what's actually going on with you. That's what's actually going on with me. See, we're the generation that choose to focus on God. We're the generation that choose to understand the way the mind works. We're the generation that understands that everything that we've experienced in the past is locked up in our heart. And we're the generation that wants God to just say, make me over, Lord. I don't know how it's going to happen, but I know that you said that I am breaking a generational curse, baby. Make me over, Lord. I know that the pain has a purpose. I know that your word has a promise. I know that your word stands. Make me over, Lord. I understand that I have legacy all over me, running through me. Make me over, Lord, because there's nothing, I mean, absolutely nothing that God can't do through you. Make me over, Lord. I know that you are going to get exactly what you want. Do you hear me tonight? You're going to get exactly what you want. God is going to satisfy your needs. He wants you to learn how to really commune with him and just get lost in his presence. He wants you to understand how your mind works and how it functions. He wants you to understand, baby, that he wants to give you the love language of prayer and positive affirmations. Honey, he wants you to understand right now that in your heart, he wants so much of him in it that you don't see nothing but God all in your experience. He wants you to understand, baby, that it ain't nobody on the face of the earth that can love you like he can, baby. He wants you to understand that he wants to love you completely up out of that pain. He wants to love you completely up out of distrusting folks. He wants to love you completely up out of poverty. He wants to love you completely up out of that storm that you in. He wants to love you completely into that promise, baby, because he wanted me to let you know that it is locked up inside of your frame. And when you just ignite that switch and understand the purpose of the wilderness showing up in your life, baby, we're going to be having some church up in here. So I love you. I'm always thinking of you because I know how good you are, how impactful you are, how magnificent, how strong, how faithful, how loving, how much you serve for God. You serve people for the kingdom of heaven. You know what? Tonight, I'm tired. My lips are sticking together in this lip gloss, because a lot of times I come in here and my lips are dry. I'm coming up here with dry mouth tomorrow. My lips are sticking together. But I'm serious about what I'm telling you, though. I want you to know that you're going to get exactly what you want. The cycle of pain and disappointment has ended for you. A new cycle has begun, and you are a legend building legacy anchored in the love of God. Your children won't have to suffer the same fears and reckless pain that you suffer because you have broken, shattered, destroyed that generational curse. Won't he do it? Yes, he will. And I still believe in you. Peace. Bye.